Hello everyone. It's been a very long time since I made a video on this channel, but I wanted to give you all an update on what I've been doing in the game and to confirm that I have still been playing and maybe an idea of what I might be doing with the channel in the future. Before I start, I'd like to take this moment to express my gratitude to everyone who's ever watched my videos. Whether you've only watched a few of them, whether you discovered through the UIM series or if you've been along since the very beginning, it means a lot to me that so many of you have enjoyed my content and that you've carried on watching and even getting comments written recently, given that I made most of my videos in 2015, and of course the game has changed a lot since then. It's in a good way. There's a lot of things that are very different now, with old school RuneScape and with YouTube and Twitch. There's been a huge explosion in the quality of both of what people are making and the gameplay that people are sharing. So and that's been a wonderful thing to see and watch, even though I've not been as involved in the scene as I perhaps once was. And a big reason for that is just life has been getting in the way. So I've just been, last 10 years of my life, I've just been busy doing work, trying to finish a PhD, which is now almost there. Got married. That's another pretty big event in my life. So, and there's just not really been the time to devote to YouTube in the way that I had back in 2015. And I know a lot of other creators are the same. So, long story short, I have still been playing the game. I'm playing on my main account now. This is my main, which is Darksaber. If any of you watched those videos, like these were the ones I did those kind of speedrun videos on. Because my main account, I played old school and release on this account, but I didn't play it much after that until after I finished the UIM quest cape. And I've been kind of coming back to that. I've come back to that in the years since, and so I've now, as you can see from my skills, I've got a little ways up there. Still a bit of a ways to go. And one of the big things I worked towards was the quest cape, and then after that the achievement diary cape, which I achieved. I think it might have been early this year or last year. And like we all know, RuneScape's a game about setting goals. So I set the goal to get the diary cape, and that was a really fun thing to do. And I learned a lot about the game in the process. So with my main at the moment, I'm kind of just doing a few little bits and pieces. I've got a few goals on here at the minute. I'm obviously, as you hopefully know by now, sailing's been released. If you haven't tried sailing yet, I would heavily recommend that you do. I think they've done a phenomenal job with it. It's one of the best updates the game's ever had, in my opinion. Obviously, I know a lot of people aren't such big fans of the skill, but I think they did a really good job in making it accessible and interesting and making it fit in nicely with the game. And as you see from my little friend here, I managed to get the sailing pet. I got it extremely early. I got it salvaging at like 67 sailing, I think. Bit of a surprise, but and shout outs to Soup, the sailing pet, and also another phenomenal YouTuber. That's been a lot of fun in the past kind of couple of weeks. I've not been rushing it. I've been taking my time with the skill and trying to do as much charting as possible. I've done all the Barracuda trials that are open to me at the minute. And in actual fact, I was going to try and record this while doing the Jubbly Jive trial, but the level of concentration and making it while trying to record a video of where a few things I want to say, that wasn't going to work. So yeah, the things I'd like to do with my main going forward. So I was quite heavily inspired by one of Wild Mudkip's videos where he talked about skills and collection log slots you can get while maxing. So if you've got an activity that gives XP, it's something that it's worth doing it before you get 99 in that skill. Otherwise, you kind of feel like you're having to spend more time on it. So I've done a few of those already. So I completed the forestry log, more or less completed the forestry log. I've got everything apart from the pet, what's it called, the log, the funky shaped log, but that just costs bark anyway. And my current, and again quite a big grind, is to complete aerial fishing, which is quite a big one. So if I think it's in other forestry, yeah, almost fully completed. But aerial fishing, obviously, there's some quite big items in there that it takes a long time to complete that log. But I'm quite motivated to do it. I've set a goal that I want to get all the mulch pearls from aerial fishing, as well as a few other things like Volcanic Mine, Giant's Foundry, Guardians of the Rift, and of course now Sailing's released loads of other log slots, which will be quite fun to go towards. And like I said earlier, sailing. RuneScape is a game about making goals and accomplishing them, and I think it's a fun way to play the game, to challenge myself to do that content, because I've always been a completionist player. I've always been someone who wants to do all that there is in the game and experience that. Now, another goal alongside that, because obviously all of this is stuff to do alongside maxing. Like, I'm not close to max by any means, but some skills are getting up there. There's still some pretty big barriers before I get there. Another thing I am also working on, and I'd like to get back to doing that a bit more, is working on completing the Colosseum and the Inferno to get Designer's Quiver and an Infernal Cape. And I'd be really keen to get that before I get my first 99, certainly my first combat 99, which is probably going to be hit points. So I've been sending Colosseum attempts. I gave it a bit of practice when the Gridmaster event, that was a few weeks ago now. That was also a really, really good fun event. I think they did a great job making that accessible and fun to do. So I attempted Colosseum a few times during that event, and I got more confident with the waves. I've got a bow for Ferdinand now, which is a good weapon for it, and I'm hoping I'll be able to get the quiver before I get 99 hit points, and after that I'm going to start attempting the Inferno, which is really exciting. I'm really excited to get into some of that high level PVM, and I really want to get those two challenges, the solo challenges, out of the way before I get stuck into raids and lots of other of the more I guess group focused content, which I've never really done in this game. I like to challenge myself. I like to challenge myself with it, and that's what I think the game is about, is like setting a goal, overcoming a challenge, putting the time in to achieve something, and you see the results of that. So that's where I'm at with my main, and that nicely segues into the UIM. For those of you who don't know, my main series on this channel was my Ultimate Iron Man videos, where I started an account and as a UIM, which can't bank or trade, and I started in free to play. I got membership and I got a quest cape, and this was all the way back in 2015, which is before death mechanics changed, before death storage became such a big thing. A lot of the quests I did on the account, I didn't make use of death storage at Zora, or Espori now is the popular one. I played the game as it kind of was before the official game mode was released. back when Iron No Bank was making videos and talking about how he was playing the game. And at the time I thought, that kind of seemed interesting. It seemed like a challenging way to play the game, and a different way to play the game. And I thought, okay, I can maybe give that a go. And then I started playing, and I did some stuff in free to play, and I quite liked the play style in free to play. And then I thought, well, I'm doing this thing at the moment. Like, why don't I record some videos and share what I'm doing with the game? And I was kind of motivated to talk a bit about what I was doing and what my goals were, and share how I was playing it. And I didn't really realise this at the time, but UIM as a game mode was still, I guess, unsolved. There was a lot of things to discover in it, and it wasn't really very easy to just go out and get a load of information on like what to do, where to go. And I made the videos in quite an organic way. I had already got a Questcape in the game, so I actually, before I made the UIM, I had an alt account which wasn't my main, but I decided I wanted to play in a from scratch fashion. So at the time that we didn't have a name for what Iron Man has a name now. Iron Man's the name that Jagex have given it. So other players, and very popular, Boaty and Foe did shout outs to those kings. They were well known for playing in that way back in 2013, 2014, 2015. So I'm in early old school RuneScape. I made an account and got a Questcape in the similar fashion. Obviously, this was before Iron Man released, so I already kind of knew how to play the game in that way. And it was quite a weird time in the economy anyway, because there was no Grand Exchange at first. A lot of things were very expensive. I still remember Nature Runes being 200, 300 GP. Again, very different now. So then UIM was just another challenge on top of that, another way to play the game. So I recorded some videos. I thought I'd put them up, and of course my first video's been where I'm mining silver in El Kharid. That's been viewed many times now. It was a fun time making those videos, and I suppose one of the reasons I stopped was that, well, other than life events, like being busy with work and so on. I felt I did what I set out to accomplish. Like I finished the Questcape. At the time it felt like a really big achievement, and I know the game's changed a lot since then, but it's still something that I'm very proud that I went through there. And also the way I made the videos. Again, I'm not sure I would do it the same way now. I think a lot of my videos were quite like, I'm going to do a quest in this video. Whereas a lot of people that make YouTube videos, they would just say they're going to do a quest, and then the next cut is, I've done the quest. Here's the Herbal XP that gave me. Here's how it progressed me, you know. That being said, I know a lot of people really enjoyed the videos. There were two things that stood out to me from the comments that people have made, and I also, while I'm on that topic, I will go through and read the comments, because I know it's been quite a long time since I've been responding to comments on this channel, and I know there's a few that I've not seen yet, and I promise I will go through and reply to everyone after I've published this video. Where was I? So the two things that stood out to me from the videos I made on the UIM. So one was a lot of people saying they just really enjoyed listening to me talk about the game and play the game, and I've had people say they like listening to my videos to help them fall asleep, which you never know what people are gonna get, what people watch your videos for. You never really know what motivates people, and it almost never is what you expect. And another comment I often got, and another feedback I often received, was from people who I think might have been expecting it to be more of a guide. And then again, I never really thought when I was making the videos that people might want to use them as guides. It's certainly, I know a lot of people watched videos like Morning Ends Part 2, which on a UIM, because of how many items you need to get, it can be a bit tricky. So in retrospect, I could have maybe filmed the videos a bit more like guides, if that's what people had wanted, or maybe done it slightly differently and cut a lot more of what I was doing. But I'm proud of what I put out. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and they wouldn't be watching if I did it any different, if I did it a different way necessarily. So another thing that really motivated me with UIM particularly was just to like talk about the game, because it meant that you had to see the game differently. So when you're playing UIM, you can't bank, so you use things in the game that you never really would expect. Like there are things like putting stuff on tables. Back in 2015, that was what you did when you wanted to do friendly trials. There's a part where you had to have nothing in your inventory. So I had I don't know if I had like a rune scimitar or something, a load of coins, like all went on the table, because on tables I think it despawns in 10 minutes. But of course you then got the risk of like someone just coming and taking all of your stuff, which there's not really a threat most of the time when you're playing the game, especially with the death mechanics change. So those of you like myself that played back in 2006, 2007, like if you died in the game, you just lose everything most of the time. Like you're never going to get back before it disappeared. And there was a great joy in like as a new player, like you'd see someone's stuff just on the floor, and you could just pick it up. Like there's nothing stopping you. Like now with death mechanics as they are in old school RuneScape today, the people won't see your stuff, and it goes into a gravestone. Or as a UIM now, it stays on the ground for an hour, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for the game and for the game mode, but it does change the way the game mode is played, and especially when it comes to like what content you can do. Like it becomes less about planning and thinking ahead. Like I remember I planned to do quests that had very little, very, very tight inventory space requirements. I planned on doing those as early as possible. Just friendly trials, for example, anything involving Intrana, all of that was because there was a risk that when I had my stuff on the table, it could just disappear. And I kind of see some of that now with hardcore Iron Man. So a lot of people make YouTube series and stream on Twitch with their hardcore Iron Man accounts, and that does look pretty cool. But there is with UIM, even if you lose everything, a wipe as people call it, you can still get it back. Whereas if you die on a hardcore Iron Man, then you've lost that status. Like it's like it's an irrevocable thing. Whereas you can get back the hours of progress that you lose on a UIM, because it's about like long-term permanent upgrades. So those are a few of the reasons why I was motivated to make videos on UIM. Now, if I was to go back to it, I know a lot of people ask about whether I will return to it. So I did make some more videos after getting the Questscape. I have a separate playlist on my channel for the post Questscape videos, and there is more content that I haven't yet released on the channel. Now, back when I stopped making videos, I'd committed to a grind that is, again, in hindsight, might not actually be a very sensible grind to commit to. But I am still motivated to finish it. like I said, this is a game about setting goals and achieving stuff, and that is a goal I set and I do want to achieve, even if it is on a slightly longer term than perhaps I'd anticipated. So I'm not going to promise that it will happen soon, but I do want to release more videos on the UIM, and I know people are very keen to see that. Now, one question I've been asking myself actually is, will I change how I play the game given all of the things that have happened to the game mode? Because the game mode of Iron Man and UIM has changed a huge amount since 2015. Skilling bosses, mahogany homes, stash units. Stash units is a big one for UIM. That didn't exist when I played it. A lot of the player in-house reworks, they've all happened since that date. And of course the death mechanics, that's a big change. To be honest, I don't feel that it would be right for me to stick to the 2015 era mechanics. I feel if I'm carrying on the UIM, I'll be carrying it on in the spirit of like how the game mode is played, knowing that I've got to this point without doing things my way. I don't think I'd look to like really want to abuse the like death storage, Hispori, or death piling for lots of wilderness stuff. But it to me it feels like if I hadn't started out the account that way, if I'm not, I'd already be playing under a challenging rule set. I don't think I'd want to introduce an arbitrary restriction if it wasn't from the very beginning. Now, as far as next steps on the account, so obviously I've got my secret grind that I'm still committed to, even though it's 10 years later. This isn't a game that you finish in a weekend, as many of us know. I'd quite like to get the quest cape back. I think that would be a pretty big challenge. There's a lot of new quests that are quite challenging, that have huge rewards. Desert Treasure 2, Unlocking Prifddinas, Plague's End, Dragon Slayer 2, Monkey Madness 2. All of these would be it would be a lot of fun to record videos on, and would be in the spirit of how I made my original series. After that, achievement diaries, filling some stash units for the permanent unlocks. Like I know there's a stash unit in the Warriors Guild for Dragon Defender and a Slayer helmet. That would be, but that's a really cool goal to work towards on UIM. I think getting as much permanent upgrade, as many permanent upgrades as possible, that's a really motivating thing. So these are all ideas I have for the UIM, as and when I've got the time and motivation to get back to it. But rest assured, like if I'm doing stuff on the UIM, I'll be making videos. Now, I have a few ideas for other content as well, which some of which I've already played, some of are accounts or ideas I've already done. So one idea I had that I've already put into practice is, and this is similar to something that Slayer Music has done. Another good series is a time or period or chronolocked account. So the idea behind this account would be that you start out the game, and the only things you can do, the only content you can take part in is content that was around on release of RuneScape, what is now RuneScape Classic, in 2001. And so for those of you who don't know, on release of the game, the only things that were really around was Lumbridge and Varrock, the Varrock sewers. The highest level monster in the game was a Black Knight. Mining and smithing, good magic, evil magic, all this fun nostalgic stuff, and that's something that I've actually played quite a lot on that account. I've got to unlocking silver crafting, which again, for those of you who've watched these videos for a while, will know that the first video I made on this channel was for episode 1 of the UIM, was mining silver in Alcarid Mine and making silver jewelry, And so it's kind of like nice that I've now got another account where I'm doing the same grind. But in the future, one of the next big things I'd unlock on that account is the wilderness, and so there's potentially some quite interesting stuff to do there. But again, no promises that I'll make videos or that I'll play this account anytime soon. The Chronolocked account. I may talk through with what I've done on the account and talk about the game a little bit. I think that might be quite fun. If anyone's interested in that, please let me know in the comments. And other ideas. So I have had a chat with my wife about us playing a group Ironman together, where we again start off in free to play, just play through the game, because she's not played the game before. She loves the music actually, and she also, again, shout outs to Soup, the Gilmore game. She's a huge fan of the Gilmore games, and that might be quite fun to do. Again, it would be quite light-hearted. It wouldn't be like a serious, like, oh, we're going to go now and we're going to grind to 99 fire making at Wintertot, and that's going to be the start of our account and all that. But again, if and when we have time, because we're both quite busy, that's another idea for some YouTube videos that I've had. And before I finish this little ramble, other YouTube RuneScape content that I've really enjoyed has been the one chunk accounts. I think that's a really unique way of playing the game. I think there's almost like an endless amount of different variety in it. I'll link another video in the description by Josh. Josh Isn't Gaming, who does a one chunk account where he talks about this a lot, and there's just like so much unique. There's so many unique play styles and unique activities that you'd never experience any other way of playing the game. So that's something that I think that could be a fun account to play. Though the challenge, as Josh says in his video, is in finding a novel idea, like a chunk or a set of restrictions that makes it a unique experience and makes it like something that's not been done before. But there's so much more to enjoy and discover in this game we all love. I'm still motivated to play. I'm really enjoying the new skill, and I think Jagex has done a phenomenal job in keeping old school going. And it feels like a completely different game in a good way from 2015 when I was last making videos. So to wrap it all up, thank you all for continuing to watch my videos and for all the support you've given me. Please do keep leaving comments. I will get to your comments, I promise. You can look forward to more videos at some point. I don't want to put a date on it. I don't want to give you false hope on like when this is going to happen or whether it's not going to happen, because I do have a lot of stuff going on in my life at the moment. But I'm looking forward to making more videos on the channel, and if you're interested in chatting, after this video I'm gonna try and join my friends chat, which is Darksaber with a space. Same as my YouTube channel name. So if you want to ask any questions or hang out, please do pop into the friends chat and drop me a message. It'd be great to see you there, and I'm looking forward to whatever the game holds for me in the future. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.